Here's Miss Shoe0nHead's new video. Okay, let's go. Why
Hello again,
has many
friends.
colored
Sorry
hair?
I've been gone for quite a bit.
Okay.
Hopefully nothing too crazy happened. I feel like every time I take a break, like a war breaks out or something, but thankfully that did not happen. But at least we found out the real Epstein files were the friends we made along the way. Welcome back to the Shoe0nHead channel. If it is your first time here, run. I am Shoe0nHead, and on this channel I like to cover cultural issues mostly surrounding men's issues. It's what I've been doing for over a decade, and frankly, I'm exhausted. Many of you have been along for the ride, and you have seen me go from a chipper, lively 24-year-old making fun of BuzzFeed and Tumblr feminists to a bitter, calloused 34-year-old talking about very real and growing men's issues. One of the main men's issues I have been covering in great detail lately has been the male loneliness epidemic. Yeah, but turns out I was wrong. We don't have a male loneliness epidemic. We have a male loser epidemic. It's not a male loneliness epidemic. No, it's a male mediocrity epidemic. It's a male loser epidemic.
The male loser epidemic has gotten so bad that it's honestly so pathetic at this point.
Kadiri kayo mga tao kayo.
Now, I don't always talk about men's issues. No, sometimes I talk about politics, and sometimes I mix the two together. Now, I know a lot of you don't like politics. You don't care about politics. But politics cares about you, and it will enter your life no matter how hard you try to avoid it. But thankfully, I have the perfect app to help you navigate this difficult political landscape. So let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, Ground News, before we get into this video, shall we? Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a fun and transparent way to read the news from all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of the political bias, ownership, and headlines that helps you understand the...
I just want to know, because maybe Ground News is an American only one, or do they have the international news? Who knows? Ground News. Sorry, I ain't got no money to support Miss Shoe0nHead. But, let's see. Uh-huh. Fuck that shit. Accept cookies. So more on US talaga siya. News, data stories. May about pa. Hindi. There's US, there's UK. Ah, okay. Asia. Since I'm here, ano meron dito? What? Bitch! I just heard earlier. Our president negotiated with Trump, and he only gave us 19% on tariff. And I see this with Japan, 15%. Why? Why? Why must you do that? You're bad. You are bad. Joke lang. So, Asian news in connection with America. So yeah, it's a more the United States of America kind of news website, I guess.
Full story and make sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features from Ground News has to be the blind spot feature, which shows you news stories that have been covered by only one side of the political spectrum and ignored by the other. For example, here is a story about how the CIA uncovered a Russiagate fraud, and right away we can see how it has been covered by 41 sources, and out of those 41 sources, 93% of them lean right, with only 2 left-wing outlets reporting the story. Ground News also makes it really easy to compare headlines to see just how political bias can affect the framing of a story. For example, this story about Zohran Mamdani winning the Democratic primary in New York. This left-leaning outlet says Zohran Mamdani's win just got a little sweeter. And meanwhile, the right-wing outlet says, meet Zohran Mamdani, the man who ruined New York. As you can see, Very different vibes. I have been using Ground News since 2021 because I think it is so informative, so fun, and it helps me see how different stories are framed so differently, and I love it. I highly recommend it. It's one of the few apps that I wake up and just immediately check. But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center called it an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. High praise. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all of their amazing features. This comes out to only like $5 a month, which is like the price of a coffee. So go to ground.news/shoe or use the QR code right there on screen or the link in the video description down there to subscribe to Ground News today. I feel like what they're doing is really important, especially right now, and it helps us approach the news in a more fair and balanced way. So thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not...
I guess you can say that. I mean, they put in their website the left article, the right article, then the center. Do you want my center? I think there's a center. Ground News. There's a center, di ba? Yes. Yes, there's a center. There's a left, there's a center, there's a right. Yep. You can say it's unbiased. As long as they post everything, it's unbiased. Fuck. Sorry.
Skipping the ad. Right? Now,
yes,
let's get back to the video. With all these issues men are facing, they seem to be moving to the right and the Republicans more, since the left and Democrats have essentially just become the young men eat and die movement. Months ago, I covered how the Democratic Party was losing young men, and I predicted Kamala Harris would lose in part because of young men overwhelmingly voting for Trump. And I was correct. Well, now the Democrats have unveiled their final solution to the right-wing male loser epidemic. Democrats spending millions to learn how to speak to American men and win back the working class. Democrats have blown millions of dollars.
What the fuck? Huh? I'm having trouble understanding. What does that mean? Learn how to speak to American men. I'm not sure if American men are a different race, but I think speaking to them is simply speaking to them, having a conversation and not pushing your ideals to them, isn't it? Am I right? Is that right? I do not know. The Americans are very political about this. Bahala sila na dyan.
To American men and win back the working class. Democrats have blown millions of dollars on efforts to appeal to American men who turned to President Donald Trump in droves on Election Day in hopes of winning back the working class. Democrats have spent $20 million on their efforts, with donors and strategists holding up in luxury hotel rooms, brainstorming how to convince working class men to return to the party.
I just want to know, do they not feel that they are not being scammed or anything? I mean, $20 million? It's millions! With donors and strategists holding up in luxury hotel rooms. Problem one. Problem one. That's the idea is spending $20 million. Problem two. Luxury hotel rooms. Okay. Wow. Just wow. Really? You do this in the Philippines, you're gonna get one. You're gonna be wish that you're gonna be hung on the cross. We will make you walk to Golgotha here in the Philippines if you do this shit. What the fuck is this?
Hotel rooms, brainstorming how to convince working class men to return to the party. Yes, nothing.
They're inviting me na.
More relatable to working class men than luxury hotel rooms.
Yep.
Great job, guys. The plan?
Well played.
Codename SAM, or Speaking with American Men, a strategic plan. Promises to use the funds to study the syntax, language, and content that gains attention and virality in these...
What the? Come on. It's... What are American men? The robots? That there's a set solution to talking to them? Ah, they're just one and zeros. Ay. I thought that isn't the solution that you just talk to them. Like, I mean, I've seen the videos. I've seen those the ones pushing away men, saying that men are this, men are that, and we don't need men, and etc. and etc. How do you? I mean, isn't the easiest way here is to apologize for that, move on, not bring it up again? I mean, how the fuck do you? What was I saying? How would you expect their votes if you're saying that they are not needed, diba? Isn't this just a common sense thing where you need them, so you talk to them, and you just need to apologize with your messages before, and make the hardwired Democrats, the hardwired democratic people, that they should not be doing this anymore. Like they would not push more the idea of pushing away the other gender, because male encompasses a whole lot of your population, is it not? Isn't that why Trump won in your elections? I don't get you. I don't get how. And $20 million. Wow. This is the talk. Okay. Wow.
spaces. The effort also recommends Democrats buy advertisement in video games, among other things. The Democrat Party is treating young men like exotic animals they're studying. Now, as you can see here, is the young man in his natural habitat, in a dark, messy cave surrounded by Taco Bell wrappers and empty Mountain Dew bottles. Here is another young man, as you can see, also dwelling in a dark cave. This one has dyed his hair blue to scare off potential predators. Unfortunately, it also scares off potential mates. But moving on, here is another young man. We think we're not quite sure about this one. We're still studying it. Listen, Democrats, instead of spending $20 million to do that stupid, maybe you should, I don't know, actually listen to men. I listen to men for free all the time. All I have to do is read my comment section. Let's see here. Shoe0nHead is a perfect example of why we need to...
See? She shares the same idea. Partida, I did not pre-watch this.
repeal the 19th. Greetings from Albania. I hate women so much, it's unreal. Ooh, shoo, mommy, milkies, mommy. One time I got my penis stuck in a soda bottle. Okay, on second thought, maybe my comment section is not the best source.
Trump scored big with young male voters last election. Democrats are spending $20 million to learn how to speak their language. I think it's a waste of money. Maybe these guys should spend their money on teaching men to not be such sexists. Maybe that's
But the stats don't bear that out now. Look at what young women have to choose from.
What
the
you're
pickings
doing.
are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash.
No.
Talking.
The very night I was sitting on my couch writing the script to my video about how Democrats are spending $20 million to relate to young men, This came on my TV on Fox News. A Tommy Lahren and Laura Ingraham segment about stay-at-home sons, men who still live at home. Literally minutes after this aired, it went absolutely viral on Twitter
Wow.
for not good
It's
reasons.
just wow.
So we are going to unpack this piece by piece. Because even though everyone was mocking it and making fun of it, as far as I saw, nobody was really dissecting it and breaking
Wait lang.
down exactly why she was so egregiously wrong. So come join me in
Wait lang. I apologize for posting you, Miss Shu. But I just want to ask, how did they come to the idea that the men there are sexist? How? Like, I mean, is the whole body is all the whole government body, fuck English, the whole government body of the United States of America, is everyone there male? Because if that's the case, then maybe you can say it's a sexism thing. But I'm pretty sure that's not the case. I'm very, very certain. I mean, maybe there are more male than females, but then that's not fun. That invalidates your sexism. Wow. Tingin nag-agree ka nagsahuking ayo. Sexism claim. Ang hirap. Wow, that was so hard to speak. That's so hard to say. Ano yun? What was I saying again? There. Since the government body is not entirely maybe a male dominant, but not an entirely male population, then you cannot claim it to be a sexism thing. Also, I think that you have laws that are more advantageous to females there in America. I've heard the thing about the divorce. That's why I am saying that divorce should be removed in America, so it may not be used as a easy money pot for the females. In any case, that's not what we're talking about now. Let's talk about is this sexism claim is a little bit bullshit. I mean, I live here in the Philippines. I've met so many Americans who have visited here. And many of them I have talked to as well. Some I even guided around the tourist spots. Now, I don't see any sexism thing. Even when I was within solo American, there was no such thing as sexism or even racism. Which is it was a good experience. The sexism would be the basically looking down on the females, right? Or in the other way around. But I think they're claiming the sexism against women. So I have not felt anything like that. There are no reports of Americans doing that here in the Philippines. You've seen what we've done to Vitali. We prioritize our people too much. But then there were no reports. So I don't know how these females who live with the American men day by day say that there's a sexism problem in America. This is too far-fetched. You're just like what is this? Like a needle in a haystack thing. We're just digging around the haystack for any kind of claims or words to use against your opponents. Then you finally get that. You can finally get that claim. You finally get that thing that you will use against your opponents. And it's a hay, not the needle. It's just too far-fetched. It's funny. It's something laughable from my side since I'm a Filipino living in the Philippines, not entirely concerned with the American politics. Just funny.
Breaking down exactly why she was so egregiously wrong. So come join me in debunking the male loser epidemic. Because who else better equipped to talk about men's issues than two stupid blonde bimbos? Hold on one second. 3 stupid blonde
shoe.
bimbos. Sorry. I felt left out. Alright, let's go. Wait. I need my gamer fuel. See,
Monster.
I do drink it. That one's for you, Tectone.
It's a major problem. And, Speaker Johnson has been talking about those maybe deadbeat folks that are on Medicaid, and maybe some of those folks are the stay-at-home sons. We don't know. But I'll tell you this, leave it to Gen Z to rebrand laziness and social awkwardness as something cutesy, like a stay-at-home son. But Laura, I gotta tell you, this is also a big problem when it comes to, I think, declining birth rates, people not getting married and having children. You know, that's a big problem. They blame it on women. Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families.
They're saying you gay, boys.
There are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And that's why we have declining birth rates and a lot of other problems in society. It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air, meet people in real life. Let's just get back to basics.
So first of all, this stay-at-home son thing is not a real thing. It was a random throwaway, self-deprecating joke some contestant on Jeopardy said. One f***ing guy. Because I guess there's nothing else important going on that they could cover on the news. They literally made this into a fake phenomena so they can on young men. Meanwhile, Democrats are spending millions of dollars trying to win back young men. Oh no, the young men are leaving us in droves. How do we get them back? Don't worry. I got this. Hey, you fat, lazy, Cheeto dust-covered slobs. F*** you. Nice. Thanks. I love you. I love you too. Is the amount of young men
that's poison to the eyes.
with their parents increasing? Yes. Is it because they're lazy bums and just want to order DoorDash all day? No. And also, they're not paying for DoorDash, Tommy. They're financing it. Come on, get with the times.
There are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement and order DoorDash. And that's why we have declining birth rates. It's time to go out, get a job, breathe the fresh air.
Have either of you tried applying for a job as a young man recently? Or tried buying a house on the salary of one of these young men? Have you experienced the dating market, been on the dating sites as a young man? No? Interesting, okay. Just wondering. Listen, I know the average age of a Fox News viewer is like 70 nowadays and you need to pander to them, but Tommy, you are like 2 years younger than me. You know this shit isn't true. Why are you talking like this? Why are you talking like a f***ing boomer? I'm sorry, I have no other word for this, but I hate this like generational pick-me shit. I was born in the wrong generation. I'm not like those other young people. And you know what? She's not like those other young people. Not all young people can afford a nice nose job and lip filler and get a cushy job on Fox News based entirely on merit, I'm sure. The main problem with this brain-dead boomer-ass take is not only is it cringe, but it's completely divorced from reality. This slop is specifically designed for people who paid like $5 for a f***ing house. And listen, not all boomers, okay? My parents are boomers. They are
inflation is a
people.
thing.
A lot of you guys are boomers. But when the baby boomer generation sends its people, it is not
so makitin. I just want to say
Listen, not all boomers, okay? My parents are boomers. They are lovely people. A lot of you guys
Wait, 30 to 17.3%.
guys are boomers, but when the baby boomer generation sends its people, it is not sending their best. They are not sending you. They're sending people who have lots of problems. They're bringing the housing crisis. They're bringing wage stagnation. They're falling for AI-generated photos on Facebook. But some, I assume, are good people. But my God, I truly believe they do not understand how good they had it. They could support a family on a single income. A single income from a job that didn't require a college degree. Their leaders didn't prostitute away their economic future for some cheap plastic shit from China. They inherited the greatest economy known to man. children, and they pretend it's a paradise that they earned. I just don't understand, like, why don't boomers and spiritual boomers like Tommy Lauren see people struggling and go, wow, I wish I could fix this. They should have it better than I had it. And you wonder why so many millennials and zoomers don't want kids. I want to make the world a better place for my children. I want to make the world a better place for my children. Ugh. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you spoiled brat. Children. Not happening.
Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim. Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men.
Young men are becoming lazy because they're becoming feminized. So they're becoming lazy because they act more like women? What did she mean by this, chat? I know there's like a decrease in testosterone or something happening, but men are moving right-wing all over the world. Does that correlate with the feminization? Or, I mean, there are suspiciously a lot of far-right femboys, so maybe. But here's the thing, Tammy. There is absolutely no evidence that young women want to start families more than young men. None. In fact, all the data says the exact opposite. According to Pew Research, 64% of women younger than 50 say they just don't want to have children. No reason, they just don't want them. Versus 50% of men who say the same. Another study by Archbridge Institute shows the same. 63% of women without children said they have no desire to have a child, while only 50% of men said the same. For men, the most commonly cited factor was personal finance. But among women, the strongest reason not to have a child was their desire to maintain their personal independence.
Nice.
Basically, they don't want to give up their brunch and mimosas. They've been ass-blasted with propaganda their whole lives, telling them their lives will be ruined, their bodies will be ruined, they'll never have fun again, they'll be miserable forever if they have children. And as someone who has had a children, best decision I've ever made. 10/10, highly recommend, would do it again. But yes, this idea that men are the ones primarily responsible for the low birth rates is laughable. We're laughing over here. But honestly, it's not really women or men's fault. There are a lot of factors that play into this. But Tommy, I really gotta ask, is it men or is it you?
This is going to be the summer of canceling boys. All of my friends are attractive. All of my friends are successful. All of my friends have something going on. Almost every single one of them have an issue.
She wanna talk shit
with
and
men.
she's one
but
of them.
If all of these women, including myself, are having issues, then I have to think it might not be us. It might be you. It is not just the guys in Los Angeles, Nashville, Dallas, and they're not any better in the Midwest. They, quite frankly, I think they're trash all over this country.
Wow. She admits that she has issues, and now they want to push the blame to the men. Wow. They created the issues themselves, and then they want to push the blame to the men in America. Wow. Ay, 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 ay. This is what happens when you give them too much freedom, you know? I they not have seen the countries where the men have much more in say than the women. Check in Asia. There's many countries here. The Middle Eastern countries. Even the Southeast Asian countries, China. Their men, not exactly. I mean, yeah, maybe. But nah, I don't want to put there. Maybe a little bit, but unlike the Middle East, where see, here's the thing. I have a friend who is a Filipino, but her parents lived in Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, her mother and father lives there, but then once she turned 18, they sent her back here in the Philippines. Why? That is because they fear for one thing. I don't know if this is the exact thing that happens there in Saudi Arabia, but there's this thing where if you're 18, let's backtrack a bit. Because in the Middle Eastern countries, if I'm not wrong, a woman who has a cover on her head and on her face, where only her eyes can be seen, that means she's married. If your whole face can be seen, that means you're unmarried. Something like that. I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's the case. And then and so we come back to my friend who turned 18. Filipina friend turned 18. Was sent back here in the Philippines because in Saudi Arabia, if there is a thing where if you are walking along the road, minding your own business, maybe with your family as well, then a man notices that her without the mask, not exactly a mask, a face mask, but a cloth covering her face, which would entail that she was married, because she was unmarried. She just turned 18. And if the man can just, as she says, the man can just point at her, she will be my wife, and the next thing you know, you're already married to a Saudi Arabian. That's how she said it. But I think that's on a case thing, but it happens. It's a real thing. That's why they sent her in the Philippines, so that she will not be prey among the wolves. She will not be sheep among the wolves there. You know? So these American women, they these kind of people, they have I think I heard this from someone before, I'm not sure who, but they are living too comfortably that they do not what is this again? They do not know how lucky they are with their privileges there in America. Yes, I think I heard that from someone. Maybe Aspen Gold? I'm not sure. Yeah, I just don't know about these American women. You cannot hear this kind of thing here in the Philippines, at least. I can tell you that no woman would ever say this here in the Philippines. Anyways, moving on.
My friends are successful. Men don't give a shit about that. They'd marry a Walmart cashier if she was nice to them.
I think men between the ages of 20 and 30 are not ready, in most cases, for marriage, are usually not ready to be husbands and fathers.
Wow.
That's a cultural issue. So, look,
No, I would actually, back to your point, I think it's a biological thing.
So let me get this straight. Men are all trash and won't commit and won't leave mommy's basement, and they're destroying the birth rates. But also young men are biologically incapable of commitment and being parents. What? But wait, there's more. She also believes women don't have to bring anything to the table.
And as a woman, I want a strong man who is a protector and a provider, that will go to war if need be, that will protect me, protect my family, make money. But I don't think a man needs to get something out of it to be a manly man, a protector and a provider. If you think you need to get something out of it, I quite frankly don't consider you a real man.
Never before in history have women demanded so much and offered so little. So before we get deeper into...
Wait lang. Umiinit na. I just gotta get out my jacket. But what the fuck was that? In the Philippines, you will be crucified by your own parents if you say that. Whether you're the man or the woman, whether you're the wife of the husband, you'll be crucified to death here. Not literally, but socially.
This retarded manufactured stay-at-home son narrative. Let's check the Facebook comments of this Fox News video, because I am really interested to see what the typical Fox News viewer thinks about this. If the women are anything like these two, I can hardly blame the men for staying home and not wanting to date them. Blame, blame, blame.
Yup.
These two women have a combined age of 93 and they have 0 children between both of them. You both have a personality type, so listening to this was like male birth control to me. My goodness! Boomers are ruthless! Bunch of sissies. I served 6 years, 2 years in Southeast Asia after Vietnam was over. When I was 18, rent was $450 and I could afford to get my own place. She's so spot on. Nothing screams I'm a loser run from me than a guy living at home in his parents' house with his 12-year-old boy's bedroom decor at age of 30. Thank God we raised our sons to be men, who grew up, lived on their own, found their soulmate, got married, bought a beautiful home, and started a family. I was out the door at 18, worked on the assembly line at Dodge and in the Air Force at 19, never went back home. I can't relate to this. Yes, we know you people can't relate. We know. But the world has changed. Why can't you people get this through your heads? I will never let my sons stay home. I'm trying to push them out of the nest. Okay, I really gotta ask, is this an Anglo thing? Immediately kicking your kid out when they turn 18 years old? My Mediterranean mind cannot comprehend this. And honestly, why the f*** would a man leave home, leave his mother's cooking, for a woman who probably can't cook? Not me, though. Personally, I can cook amazing homemade meals. I'll have you know I am a great trad wife.
Nice.
Bone apple teeth. Now, unfortunately, Tommy Lauren wasn't
Nice.
the only one pushing this stupid, lazy young men go get a job bullshit. Mike Johnson did it referencing 29-year-old men playing video games all day. Steve Scalise did it with 35-year-old men playing video games all day. And just the other night, I saw this on my TV. Again.
A Wall Street Journal headline got our attention. The new dream job for young men, stay-at-home son. It's a phrase that's taken off since 27-year-old Brendan Leo won $59,000 on Jeopardy. And he has a master's degree in political science, but he's unemployed. Grow up, get a job, get a wife, build a family.
Just get a wife, bro. Just get a job, bro.
Oh, get a job? Yeah. Just get a job? Why don't I strap on my job helmet and squeeze down into a job cannon and fire off into jobland where jobs grow on jobbies?
The term welfare queen must have fell out of fashion with Republicans because it seems even they know the approved safe demographic to go after now. Because it's very obvious what demographic they are talking about when they say young men in their basements playing video games. This just get a job lazy attitude is not surprising, but it's especially funny coming from Fox News of all places. Fox News that spends so much time yapping about immigrants taking American jobs. Fox News will talk for years about how Americans are being screwed out of the workforce. But when this issue manifests itself in Gen Z, suddenly it's a moral failure. The fact is, a lot of American jobs held by men are being lost to automation, offshoring, and yes, cheap foreign labor. Companies and billionaires would rather have cheap labor that they can essentially abuse, not pay fair wages to, just good little worker drones who won't unionize, rather than hire American workers for a living wage. The cheaper the labor they hire, the more money they make. I remember when Bernie Sanders called open borders a Koch brothers conspiracy.
Open borders? That's a Koch brothers proposal, which says essentially there is no United States.
But it would make a lot of the global poor richer, wouldn't it?
And it'd make everybody in America poor. Then you're doing away with the concept of a nation state.
Where'd that guy go? A lot of these jobs being taken are jobs traditionally held by men, like construction and factory jobs, manual labor work. But it's not just manual labor jobs, it's also the tech industry and business industry, which are careers also mainly held by men. There are many examples of this, such as Microsoft recently cutting thousands of American workers while requesting 14,000 more H-1B workers this year. Some of those job positions include data scientists, which are 70% men, software developers, which are 80% men, and electronic engineers, which are 90% men, and many more like that. Another example of this was Tesla, where roughly 15,000 American employees were fired in April 2024, and many were replaced with H-1B visa holders. On Twitter, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy tried to chalk this up to these immigrants just simply being the best and the brightest. Yeah, okay. You're paying them less for longer hours and more work, and they're willing to deal with it in order to stay in the country. It's coercive, exploitative, and, dare I say, not very America first. When conservatives confronted Elon Musk for this last year, he told somebody, and I quote, "Take a big step back and yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend." So when it comes to replacing American workers in manual labor with cheap foreign labor, it's deport. But when it comes to replacing his American workers with cheap foreign labor, it's yourself in the face. Interesting. There's also affirmative action and DEI, which are other things Fox News always pisses and shits about. But suddenly, when the conversation is about Gen Z men, the demographic of people who are victims of these things, suddenly these things just like don't exist anymore. Then it's, oh, young men are all just lazy. They just want to be in their parents' basement ordering DoorDash and playing video games. But it's not just the brown people taking your jobs.
Be mad.
I am not beating the allegations with this one. The brown people are not taking your jobs, okay? It's not their fault. They're just cheaper. Aim upwards. But it's not just the brown people taking your jobs. It's the women, too. Many of the dyeing industries are male-dominated, while many of the growing industries are female-dominated, and stigma around these jobs being woman jobs usually stops men from working them. Women are overwhelmingly entering and excelling in college and the workforce, and they're more flexible about job position and pay, while young men usually hold out for higher-paying, higher-position jobs that will make them the breadwinner. Because you see, despite the world progressing and the role of women changing, the role of men has not changed.
I have no comment.
Every woman
I
is
do
a
not
feminist
know
until
about
the dinner
the
bill
business
comes. But what's crazy is
of America.
women might be the ones paying that dinner bill soon. A study from the UK found women aged 22 to 29 earned about $1,000 more annually than men, completely reversing the traditional gender pay gap for this age group. In the US, a 2022 Pew Research Center analysis showed that women under 30 out-earned men in many metropolitan areas, with median earnings at or above 100% of men's in cities like New York and Washington, D.C.
Oh.
That might not sound like a lot of money now, but it's a growing trend that has never been seen before. It's so bad that it's really starting to affect the dating world. American women have never been this resigned to staying single. They are responding to major demographic shifts, including huge and growing gender gaps in economic and educational attainment, political affiliation, and beliefs about what family should look like. More women than men are attending college, buying houses, and focusing on their friendships and careers over dating and marriage. The challenges of finding a romantic partner have been made more complicated by a growing divide in education and career prospects between men and women. In 2024, 40% of American women ages 25 to 34 had a bachelor's degree, according to Pew, compared to 37% of men. A bachelor's degree increases net lifetime earnings by an estimated $1 million. Women are doing comparatively well when it comes to education in their early years in the labor force, and men are doing comparatively badly. Men's economic struggles seem to be having the biggest effect on women without a college degree, whose marriage rates by 45 have plummeted to 52% for those born between 1930 and 1980, according to research by Cornell University. Young men without a degree are struggling so much as a group that there simply aren't enough with steady jobs and earnings for non-college women to date. Men are poor, women most affected. Modern women are no longer tied to their gender role. Birth control has freed them from the prison that is their biology, and they are making their own money, sometimes more than men. They can have it all, they can do anything, they can be anything. While at the same time, men are still expected to be the provider. And more importantly, many men still want to be the provider, but they can't. And women, though strong and independent, still want men to be the provider.
And as a woman,
Nah, that's fucked up. I just don't get this culture kind of thing where you can only date them if you have a bigger wage than the ladies. Huh? I mean, a marriage is a partnership, right? It's not a con. Because the way they say it is like it's more of a contract, wherein the male is the boss and the female is an employee. So the boss should give money to the employee. That's a job. That's not a marriage. Marriage is a partnership. Both sides are equal. And their money is pulled in the middle. Huh? I just don't understand how their brain works right now. I mean, is it really that bad? Is it really that hard to date a man who is earning way less than you? Does it affect you in any way? I just don't get it. I mean, I'm a bit sad for the American men there. How Why is it a requirement that you need to earn more than them? And then they complain to you. they complain to you that you're not going after them. Not going after them for dating prospects. Like, So let me get this straight. It's patriarchy. Patriarchy is a problem. Men are shit. Men are bad. But then men are not coming to us. Men are not fucking us. Why? Men are becoming sissies right now. That's why they're not doing it. Wow. Okay. Sure. Oh my god. Deserting my Filipino brain.
Woman, I want a strong man who is a protector and a provider that will go to war if need be, that will protect me, protect my family, make money.
Basically, men are like, we're worried we're not making enough money. And women are like, we're worried men are not making enough money. Hello class, I am Miss On Head. I am substituting for your teacher today. She was arrested for molesting a 12-year-old boy. So today we are learning about the graph. This is the growth in productivity versus hourly compensation graph. And you can trace almost everything bad happening in society back to this graph. As you can see, productivity increased while compensation barely grew over the same time period. Notice they tracked very closely up until around 1972. Now, what happened around 1972, class? Well, the top marginal tax rate was reduced from 70% in 1964 to 50% by 1981. The federal minimum wage began to stagnate. Income going to the 1% rose from 9% in the 60s to 16% in 2023. Wow. CEOs also went from making 20 times more than the average worker to making 350 times more than the average worker. Anything else happen around 1972? Yes, Jimmy, that is correct. Women joined the workforce around this time, but we don't have to get into that today. The fact is, hard work no longer guarantees success, and the will to work is tied to the fruits of your labor. And young men are fed up today because 90% of that fruit is rotten. Now, is there some truth to modern young people being lazy? Sure, I guess. Every generation had lazy people. And we do basically live in late-stage mouse utopia, after all. Young people today are faced with two options: revolution or escapism. And a lot of them are choosing escapism. Many have basically given up, but it's not like they didn't try. They tried and they found out the juice just isn't worth the squeeze, whether it's college, dating, or the job market. And in a way, many young men are kind of choosing revolution. The never before seen large shift rightward in young men is a small revolution in a way. They're saying, this isn't working for me, this sucks, I hate this, I want something different. This is also manifesting on the Democrat side in general. The young men that are still voting left are voting further left. You saw this recently in New York City, where Zoran Mamdani, a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist, won the Democratic primary. Young men are tired of the establishment, left and right. They're tired of the system, and they want to burn it down and start again.
I mean,
they
who
want
will
something
not
that
get
works
tired
for them
by that?
because this is not working for them.
If you wake up one morning and you find yourself in a society where 23-year-olds with 4-year college degrees and like initiative who aren't smoking weed every day, if they can't make enough to buy a car, much less a home, much less get married, much less have children, then why should you be surprised when half of them say they prefer socialism?
Fox News should hire that guy. There is an entire generation of fighting-aged men who are enraged and feel like they have nothing to live for. You should probably start caring. When they saw this airing on Fox News, they saw an angry woman nagging in their faces about how everything wrong in the world is their fault. An all too familiar thing they have been hearing for far too long. But unfortunately for Democrats, nobody under the age of 60 watches Fox News, so this is not really going to have an effect on young men whatsoever. So keep that $20 million. You might still need it, unless we get dragged into another war in the Middle East. If we do get dragged into another war in the Middle East, young men might come running back to the Democratic Party. Maybe not even a George Bush II electric boogaloo. we'll have men coming back to the Democratic Party. Hopefully we don't find out. And as I'm editing this right now, a lot of young people, even the podcast bros, seem pretty upset about the Epstein thing, but we know Democrats won't take advantage of the situation in order to protect the Clintons, so maybe not even this will save them, but we'll see, I guess. Hold on one second. That's better. So that was that video. What do you think of the male loser epidemic? Do you agree with Tommy Lauren? Is it all men's fault? Leave your comments below. I read them all. I am probably reading them right now as you type them. Wait, don't write that. No, you can't say that. No, it doesn't matter if it's with an A. If you like this video, please subscribe. And if you can, donate to me on Patreon or leave a little tip with a little tip jar down below. I'll give it a little heart. It helps the channel and I appreciate it so much. And I will see you guys again soon with a new video, a new slop video. Because I know you gremlins love that shit.
Yes, okay. We have more to react next time then. Yes, sorry. Wala akong kwan ngayon. Okay. So fun video. It's quite educational for me. Someone who is not who does not know about the the politics there in America. Sabi niya mag-comment daw ako eh. I will follow. But then, anong ko-comment ko? I don't know what to comment. Comment pa ba ako? I mean, I'm doing a react video. I'm probably posting this on YouTube later. But, mag-comment na. I'm sure she's not gonna watch my video anyway. So, I think my biggest problem here would be about the demands. Is it a demand? Is it a claim? Maybe. But then the part where I think the biggest one for me would be the part where male should be the provider and must be the provider and nothing else. Like I said, marriage should be a partnership, not a employee type of shit. No? So yun na lang ko comment ko. That's what I'm gonna comment na lang. Now here comes my English. Maybe it's the cultural difference. But I don't get the idea where a man, the one and only provider, understanding marriage is a partnership and not a job. Tama ba? Parang I'm thinking of a word. I'm thinking of something to compare it to. This is the closest one. With my poor English, this is the closest one I can think of.